Hello there everybody, welcome back to the YouTube channel of JJ Brown Reviews. So today we'll be taking a look at the final Transformers Studios series Wave 1 Deluxe, and here is Decepticon Crowbar. So let's get down to the review table and see what the big deal is for this figure. So let's get it on, man, let's go! And here is Crowbar fully transformed into his Chevrolet Suburban Vehicle mode. And I'm not sure if you know this figure is very reminiscent of The Last Knight Berserker, because this is actually a heavy remold of the Transformers The Last Knight Deluxe class Berserker. And speaking of Berserker, let's just bring him in for comparison right now. And here is Crowbar. This is my tongue stops working. Here is Crowbar compared with Berserker, and I mean, the vehicle modes are pretty much the same, but the way the Decepticons are put are the same, but their Decepticon symbols are quite different. You can see. Like this has the traditional G1 Decepticon symbol, and this one has the Movieverse Decepticon symbol. But other than that, you have pretty much the same mold all around. This section right here is a bit different because the way the legs transform, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, but all around, it's still the same vehicle mode. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So let's move on to the next comparison. Here is Crowbar compared with his wave mate, the old Camaro Bumblebee, with his other wave mate, Decepticon Stinger, with Decepticon Soundwave from Studio Series, and with his mighty leader, Dark of the Moon Megatron from the Studio Series toy line. So that is pretty much it for the alt mode comparisons. Okay, so we got the alt mode comparisons out of the way, so now we can actually move on to some little details in the vehicle mode. So you can see the Chevrolet logo is painted in gold because you have to represent Chevy right there. You got some nice white paint for the headlights. Got the Decepticon symbols on the sides. Got some nice blue paint on the windows and windshields. Of course, the Chevy logo has to be painted on the back as well. Red for the taillights and some nice red paint for these lights on top. And that's it for the paint right there. And you can see here, and to quote Emgo, visible head syndrome right there. And you can see all the dreads are just these dreadlocks, the hair. I call them the hair, okay? Or real name dreadlocks. So yeah, you have to, the way you store these dreads in vehicle mode is you just have to bend it like that, you know, like bend it like that, you know. It comes like that, like that, you know. So there we go. So of course he does include some accessories. He includes these weapons. So you remember these weapons that they used in Dark of the Moon? Yeah, and Berserker came with these as well. So it's the same weapons. Mine is a little bit warped, out of shape. So I mean, the way to fix that, you can actually use a hairdryer if you want to. So I've never tried using a hairdryer before, so I don't know. So yeah. To store these, you don't store these underneath, like how Berserker did. You store these weapons by tabbing to these slots right here. So you just tab them to these slots right in there. Just tap them in. And just tab them in. And that totally looks ridiculous. You know? It totally... Yeah, definitely looks ridiculous. So I'm just gonna take them off right now, and we shall transform Berserker into his robot mode. Now the transformation on this guy is pretty similar to what we got from Berserker, but it's definitely a little bit different because of the legs. So just untap this section here, just bring this out right there, and just untab these doors from the sides right here, untab these doors from the sides like that, and just bring this over and just collapse this down just like that. You want to untab these panels from the sides right here, untap this, and just raise the section up and just fold this in, fold that in. And you want to take this section of dread and just bring this out on the hinge right here, and just bring all this out. So in a little bit, I will show you how to situate these properly in robot mode. So, whoops. So now what you want to do is you want to untab all this right here and just bring the leg down like so, and bring the legs down and just rotate them to the forefront like that, and just flip out the foot. And I've seen people with the wheel just stay there, but that's the wrong transformation. The correct transformation for his legs is you want to flip the wheel back like so. So that is the way to transform his feet properly. So, and you can see here, just bend the knee a little bit back and just bring this forward a little bit more, and just fold this in and just, you know, flip it into place, and there we go. So there you have one leg all done and ready. So the same thing on the other side, just rotate this to the forefront and just flip out the foot, flip back the wheel, and there we go, and just chicken leg him a little bit and just bring this down, and this will just come up on you till it clicks into place, and there you have the legs all done. So yay, we got the legs all done. So now you want to bring down his arms, just rotate them and just rotate them at the bicep so that the elbows are into properly, and just flip out the hands, flip out the hand, there we go, and just bring this in. It doesn't really tab, it doesn't really tab in all that securely, but it sits there, you know, it just rests there, there we go. And then just bring down the other arm, just rotate them at the bicep so the elbows are into properly. Just flip out his hands, there we go, and just tap this in and just bend it over. Okay, just flip out his head, bring this down, and this is on the, you know, ab crunch right here, and just collapse all this down, collapse all this up like so. Whoops. Make sure that this is behind the panel right here, just behind the panel, just like so, and just collapse this up. There's no two tabs. You see here, Crowbar still has these two slots, but you don't see any tabs on his back, so you don't see anything. So you just have to rest this on there. So it's not a really secure connection. There's no tabs securing it all, but anyway, it is what it is. So I think we're almost done. I think we are almost done. So we need to situate the dreads right here. So the way I do this, let me raise up the camera a little bit more so you can see what I am doing. There we go. The way I do this, I take two of these dreads right here, take two from one side, and just, you know, just slot them in right here to these gaps right here. Just slot them in like that. And I feel like, you know, that's the way they could keep their shape. I mean, you can bend it however you want, but they don't really keep the shape all that well. So just bend all this down and just slot this into that gap like so. And I think that holds, and I think that holds the dreads really well. So that's how I do things with the dreads. You can position the dreads however you want, but this is the way I store these dreads on the back. So there you go. So that it's not, you know, dangling and not hanging over on you. So yeah. Alright, so I think we are done. Are we done? Yes, we're done. So there you have Mr. Crowbar, fully transformed into his robots mode, and he looks pretty good. He definitely looks very screen accurate to the one that we saw in the film. Yeah, really well done figure. And there's a lot of remolding that was done to the robot mode. Not much remolding to the vehicle mode, but a lot of remolding from Berserker to become Crowbar, and really well done in my opinion. So let's get in close here so we can take a look at that menacing head sculpt of his. Yeah, really cool head sculpt. I definitely like this head sculpt. Really well done. Nice little bit of silver paint right there in the teeth, and got red for the 8 eyes. All 8 of those eyes. And got some nice red paint on the chest right here. and got some nice gunmetal gray, not sure, dark gray paint on the chest or so, right there. And yeah, of course his hands are painted, and you can see all the fading colors right there, which is pretty cool. I do quite like that. Yeah, really well done robot mode, I will say. Really well done. Nice red for the knees, and got some, got his claws, his feet right here. So that's pretty cool. But yeah. And of course you can see all the dreads just hanging down. I mean, you can position however you want, but yeah, I just put them in the back like that, so it's not hanging down like that. Yeah, really cool. I definitely like the robot mode on this guy. Really nicely done. So between Berserker and Crowbar, I would say, I feel like Crowbar pulls off this mold like way better than Berserker, I will say, in my opinion anyway. So there we go. And as always, agree to disagree. So there we go. So it's Articulation. The head is on a ball joint. You can rotate a full 360 in a weird way. You can use this hinge so you can do some beats right there. And the shoulders are on the ball joint. They can move through blah. My tongue stopped working again. You can rotate the arms to full 360. They can move in and out. You can use this hinge as well to move the shoulders up and down if you want to. And you do have a bicep swivel, which is kind of tight, so I'm not going to move it all that much. You got the elbow joint, about 90 degrees bend. No wrist swivel, unfortunately, but the hands can move inward due to transformation. Why would I say fans? And due to the way he transforms, he actually has a little bit of an ab crunch right there, which is pretty cool. Yeah, no waist swivel, unfortunately, for this guy, so it is what it is. So like that. There we go. And the legs, the hips are on the ball joint. They can move up that far. They can move back only that far. Although the ball joint is quite tight, you do have a thigh swivel. You can actually move out the legs like that, but it doesn't really do the full splits. You do have a knee joint, slightly over 90 degrees of bend, and the feet, there's no ankle tilt at the feet, unfortunately, but they can actually, if you move this panel out of the way, they can move down some, like that. Hey, that's only if you move this panel out of the way, then you can actually move down the feet a little bit more. So there we go. So they have that. So yeah, and I think that's pretty much it for its articulation. Not much articulation. The articulation is decent on this figure, but it definitely could have been better if he had some ankle tilts and a waist swivel. But I don't really care for a waist swivel. I don't mind a figure without a waist swivel. I don't really need a waist swivel. So anyway, so of course you can definitely hold the spikes. I have no idea what these weapons are called. I don't know. And you can actually hold them in his hands, and you can actually store them in robot mode. So it's the same way that these store like in Berserker. So there you go. Just clip this on there, and this for Crowbar's weapons. These are actually more secure than for Berserker. So you can actually plug this in. Just clip all this in, just like that. There we go. But there we go. There is the storage for the weapons in robot mode. But you want a warrior to hold these weapons. That's right. You want the warrior to hold these weapons. Just hold them right there. Doesn't really hold them securely, but it is what it is. Just hold this down like so. And there you have Crowbar holding his weapons, and that's pretty cool. So now we shall move on to some size comparisons. Here is Crowbar compared with his fellow Decepticon, Soundwave, with his wave mate, Decepticon Stinger, with his other wave mate, the old Camaro Bumblebee, with his mighty leader, Dark of the Moon Megatron from the Studio Series toy line. And you can see Crowbar is definitely shorter than Meg's, duh, because he's a deluxe and this guy's a leader class, so yeah, he has to be shorter than him. And I think that's a good scale. I think so anyway. I think that's in my opinion. So there we go. So now let's move on to the final size comparison. And speaking of which, here is Crowbar compared with Berserker from the last night, who actually looks like Crankcase. But yeah, there's a lot of remolding done between the two. They don't even share the hips, you can see. They don't even share the hips, or do they? No, they don't share the hips. The hips are pretty different. Yeah, pretty much different molding for the hips. Do they share these pieces? It doesn't look like they do. No, they don't share. They don't share the thighs right here. They don't share these. They don't share these pieces. They don't even share that. They do. Do they share knees? They kind of share knees, but they don't really share knees because it's a different molding. So, but yeah, do they share hands? No, not even the hands are the same. No, the hands are different, totally different. The shoulders are different. The biceps are different. The forearms are different. Is the crotch the same? I think the crotch is the same. Yeah, the crotch is definitely the same. But the chest is different. The head is different. All the car parts are the same, except yeah, pretty much all the car parts. The panels are pretty much the same mold. But other than that, you don't see anything in robot mode that they share. No, it's like literally very different. Very different between the two. So that's pretty cool. Well, it's like while you're essentially holding the same toy in your hand, at the same time you're not holding the same toy because you know it's not a straight recolor. Now, here's the thing. Here's the issue. They did reuse this mold. They repainted Crowbar into Crankcase, which they shouldn't have done it. They shouldn't have done that. They should have taken Crankcase. No. They shouldn't have taken Berserker and painted it into Crankcase. They should have done that. They shouldn't have repainted Crowbar because Studio Series Crankcase is not Crankcase. That's just Crowbar in a different color. Anyway, so I'm hoping for Studio Series to make another Crankcase figure, like a new Crankcase figure, because that first Crankcase figure from Studio Series, no, not even needed. That's not even worth having. No, that's not Crankcase. Okay. So yeah, alrighty. So that is pretty much it for the robot mode comparisons. Okay, so here are my final thoughts on the Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class Crowbar, and yeah, really well done figure in my opinion. While he does have the same vehicle mode as Berserker, the robot mode is totally different. They don't really share a lot of parts in robot mode. They don't even share the leg section right here. Like on the robot mode legs, that's totally different. The robot mode arms, totally different. The chest, totally different. Head is different. But the crotch is the same, unfortunately. They didn't remold the crotch. But still, yeah, I love this figure. Really well done. Yeah, the treads can be a little bit fiddly with you, but hey, once you get the hang of it, it's nice and smooth. So yeah, the transformation is very nice and smooth. So overall, it's an enjoyable figure to mess with. The articulation is good, but it definitely needed more articulation here and there. Like, definitely needed an ankle tilt, you know, a wrist swivel, a bit of a waist swivel, but it's fine. It is what it is. It's okay. You still can pose him really well. So you can see he still poses really well. So yeah, his weapons are a nice touch, although he doesn't really hold that securely. But for some reason, he literally made me a liar because he can actually hold his weapons securely. He doesn't drop them. Hey, he does not drop the weapons anyway. So there we go. But yeah, I mean, the way he transforms, he's pretty much a shell former. But hey, if you look at his design in the film, he does not lend himself to a practical transformation. There's really no other way to do it. So yeah, so they had to make him a shell former. Like no choice. But anyway, so yeah. Yeah, really well done figure, I will say myself. So okay, so if I were to rank Crowbar from a scale of 1 to 10, I think I would just give him a 9 out of 10. So yeah, the only articulation he needed was the ankle tilt. That's it. Yeah, that's it. He needed the ankle tilt, and that's it. So 9 out of 10. Really well done figure, in my opinion. So I think that's pretty much it for today's video review. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're completely new to the channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. And while you're at it, click that notification bell icon down below as well so that you'll know when my new videos are up and ready. And you can always check out my Studio Series Reviews playlist for any videos you may have missed. So I'll post a link to that playlist in the description down below as well. And if you want a crowbar from blah 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 blah, this my tongue stopped working again. If you want a crowbar of your own, you can always check out bigbadtoystore.com for any availability. So I'll post a link to that website in the description down below as well. So, and I think that's pretty much it for me to say. So there you have the Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class Crowbar. And this is JJ Prime signing off. Peace out.